Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, too. This is the last Sunday during Christmas, this 12-day season of Christmas. You know, this Christmas event is so important to us that we celebrate it for more than just one day, or maybe I should say more than just one eve and one day. So we're continuing today to hear the stories of Jesus' birth. So one last time, Merry Christmas. I'm really glad to be with you all today and to begin 2026 with you too. You know, Christmas and the start of a new year, it's a time when so many of us are looking back over the year that's passed and also ahead to what's coming. It's all of those articles we're reading, the kind of year in review articles, right? And New Year's resolutions about what new thing is happening for us, thinking about what's coming for us in 26. We read today from the story of Jesus' birth in the Gospel of Matthew. If you were with us on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, we read from the account in the Gospel of Luke. And today we read the account of Jesus' birth from Matthew. Like other important stories in our tradition, we don't just have one narrative, we have two. One in Luke and a different one in Matthew. And our lectionary leaves out a few verses in the middle of Matthew's story. Maybe you noticed that in the citation today. It's a little sanitizing. But I'm going to desanitize it for just a minute, because I think it makes an important point. We read the verse that says that Mary and Joseph took the baby Jesus to Egypt because Herod was going to try to destroy him. And in the verses we skipped, Herod does destroy all the baby boys under the age of 2, the holy innocents, in an attempt to get Jesus, an attempt that does not work. In Matthew's account today, it is doing something similar to what we're doing. It's looking backwards, and it's looking forwards. It's asking how this new thing that is coming, how this new thing is connected to what has come before. And Matthew starts with a genealogy a little bit before what we read, this big, long list of Jesus' ancestors. It takes up so much of Matthew's story that without it, the whole birth is 31 verses. It's this big list. And you know, our lectionary, the folks who selected what we read in church on Sundays, they skip the genealogy. I can't imagine why we don't read this big, long list. But you know, if we never read it, we're going to miss something, because it's asking the same question we're asking. How is this new thing that is coming, how is it connected to the old things that we know? As conditions in Israel deteriorated, the Israelites fled to Egypt for protection. A little later, the paranoid ruler feared that the next generation of Israelites would challenge his power, so he ordered all the baby boys under 2 to be killed. But one baby escaped, whisked away by his parents. Then, after a dream revealed that the path was safe, he returned with his people from Egypt to Israel. That's what we just read, right? In Matthew's gospel, that's the story we just read? No, it's not. I'm telling you the story of Moses from way back in the Old Testament book of Exodus. And you're thinking it's the story of Jesus that you just heard from the book of Matthew. Our gospel lesson for today, they are shockingly similar. Matthew's story of Jesus' birth, it even uses some of the same phrases found in the Exodus story. Matthew has crafted this story to present Jesus to us as the new Moses, connected to what's come before and also new. Because the author of Matthew's gospel is interested in this question of how this new thing that is unfolding with Jesus how this new ministry, these new ideas, this new way of treating people that Jesus describes, Matthew's interested in how it is all connected to what came before it. And he's answering that question by saying this new thing is very connected to the old thing. He's saying those stories from the past, they continue to shape us now. We continue to bring those stories into the present with us. The author of Matthew's gospel is doing here what you and I are called to do too. To ask, how is what happened before connected to what is happening now, to what is unfolding in front of you and me now? And to be thoughtful about what stories from the past we choose to bring into the present and take with us into the future. For us, we're doing this all the time. Maybe we're a little more conscious of it at New Year's time, asking, what stories from the past do we want to bring with us into this new thing that is unfolding in front of us in this new year? And what stories from the past do we want to bring into our consciousness so that we can choose something different, so that we can choose now a different path? How is this new thing unfolding for us? How's it connected to what's come before? And where is that for us good and life-giving? And where do we want to chart a new course, different from those stories in the past? You know, the Exodus story, the story of Moses, it illustrates God's desires for freedom for us, God's morality and justice. It says that authority should act responsibly and morally. It's one of the points of the story. It illustrates that God sides with those who are suffering, those who are powerless and poor. It's a story of perseverance, a story of hope, of redemption. Let's put our weight down on that story, Matthew says. Let's bring the lessons of that story into the future with us, Matthew writes. Let's show how those traits, those same values, are present in this new chapter that's unfolding in front of us with this new baby. I've read recently that the average New Year's resolution lasts for 9 days. So if you have a resolution that you're still keeping, you're halfway to the average. If you keep it till this coming Friday, you'll be average. Congrats, I guess you could say. But more seriously, this is the time when so many of us are being more intentional about what we want to keep doing and what we want to do differently and what patterns we want to keep and what patterns we want to change. James Hollis, author, he writes that we often repeat patterns, even when we don't intend to. He writes his words now. No one awakens in the morning, looks in the mirror and says, I think I will repeat my mistakes today. Or, I expect that today I will do something really repetitive, regressive, and against my best interests. He's obviously being humorous here, but you know it's true. We don't get up and say that, but we often do repeat those same patterns, especially the ones programmed into us by what happened to us early in our lives, things that happened to us long ago, stories from our families, stories from our religious traditions, from our friends. Which stories we listen to is important, Matthew says. That's what we take with us into the future. Where do you listen to stories based on fear? Stories that tell you you are not enough, or that you don't have enough. Where do you continue to put weight down on stories that diminish you? And what stories from our tradition? What stories from your past? What stories tell you who you are in ways that enlarge you? I'm borrowing again from Hollis here. Which stories from your past help you to act and think more creatively, more freely? What experiences from your past let you dream more expansively? What brings out the best in you? This new thing that's happening with Jesus, the author of Matthew's gospel says, it's going to draw out the very best in our tradition. It's going to be like those times in the past when we lived in a way that was consistent with our values, when we were aligned with God's call, when we helped expand freedom and justice. This new thing that's happening in Jesus, Matthew says, it's going to be like the times in the past when we knew hope, when redemption was open for everyone. It's going to show God's special love for those who are suffering and sad, for those who are treated unfairly, those left out. This new thing, it's going to take the very best of our past, Matthew says, and it is going to build on it for our future. So it's an awesome reading for the first Sunday of the new year, because it's exactly what we're doing. What are the stories from your past? Stories you've learned along the way that limit you. Ones that make you fearful, small, or diminished. And what are the stories that enlarge you? What are the stories, the experiences that call you to the very best of your values? The times, the ones that call you to live from the best you have to offer to the people around you. Matthew asks us today, which stories we're bringing into this new year with us. Amen.